Welcome everyone. Great that you're here in this beautiful moment in time. That you can be part of this is unbelievable. That's a miracle in itself. So welcome.
Cet instant saint, je voudrais te le donner. Sois en charge, car je voudrais te suivre, certaine que ta direction me donne la paix. Si j'ai besoin d'un mot pour m'aider, il me le donnera. Si j'ai besoin d'une pensée, il me la donnera aussi. Et si je n'ai besoin que de calme et d'un esprit tranquille et ouvert, voilà les dons que je recevrai de lui. Il est en charge à ma demande, et il m'entendra et me répondra, parce qu'il parle pour Dieu, mon Père, et son Saint-Fils.
This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. If I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. If I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request. And He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God, my Father, and His Holy Son. Thank you. So at least our guidance is set. just waiting for the words to come and for the timing of it all and for the receiving of it all. So today the Master Teacher Tape Group, and in the 3 tapes that we listened to, and this is the first tape, but then the 4th part. And like I said in the beginning of this series, it's like it's a very compact talk. It's very compact. It's like there's so much in there. As Master Teacher always wants to give everything. In every talk you get the whole deal, so to speak. So it is with this. So the last part of this first tape is also interesting because there are some key aspects that are coming up to the service that are in fact like pure healing thoughts. Healing thoughts in the sense of look at it this way. Look at it this way. And so he brings 2 things together. It's like the remedy and the sickness are the same thing. It's like you cannot have cancer without a chemotherapy. That's like the remedy and the sickness are the same thing. It's like literally that is what that is. It is part of the duality dream that you're in. So that's one part. The other part is, of course, has to do with death. It's like he brings you, in fact, out of the idea of death by questioning what are you actually crying about? Like, who's not supposed to be there? Who's not here with you? Who's not? Let's take an honest look at this. Who's actually not with you? So that is, that's exactly. It's like these are 2 key points that will come back all the time. But it's like that's where the real thing is happening. In fact, the real thing in the sense of where the deep confusion takes place because you're dreaming. In your dream that looks like a reality. And that's exactly the point where the shift can occur. So this has to do with death, it has to do with sickness, well, limitation, lack of limitation. We did that on Sunday with Joel. It's like these are the key, and then of course the relationships, but that's always intertwined with all the aspects. There's a relationship. You have a relationship. You're related to everything. And that is like whether you differentiate in the relationships that you have. If you think that's only has to do with humans or with others, then you miss a certain part. In fact, you have a relationship with every occurrence and every situation. You relate to every situation. You relate to, and this, how are you relating to it? Now here, in fact, we're ready for some kind of analogy, and that you could say like it looks like if we would take a look at your mind and compare it. No offense, of course not, it's beautiful. But it's like if we take a look at your mind and consider it a farm, whatever you've stored, and whatever you are growing, whatever you are, we're not really concerned about that. But the analogy is actually great. So you have your supply, right? You have your investments, you have your supply. And so what is in your supply? What is it that you have invested in? What is, you have laid up stores in investments. So what is in the storages that you have? You have invested deeply into conflict. You have invested deeply into sickness. You have invested deeply into loneliness or lack and limitation. You have invested in death. Like, that's quite a big one. Wow, that's huge. That storage is huge. You've invested in death, like on a daily basis. That's pretty wild. But that's a big one. So it is actually fun to look at it like that. It's like you literally have your storages full of investments. That's your psyche, you could say, your mind. Your mind is full of investments. Of course, until you release that. And that's in fact why we are here. Why we actually become aware of, oh my God, yeah, actually I did invest in death a lot. I didn't really say write it on the wall or label it well, but it's death indeed, yeah. And so it is with conflict, like or resentments. It's also quite a storage. It's like, wow, that's huge. Wow, look at that. What an investment in grievance. As if it was for sale, and I had like, oh yeah, give some of that to me. I want that. Yes. That's a different way of looking at it, isn't it? So it's like, there's your investment. You see the overview, you walk over, hands on your back, and you take on a nice sunny day a look at what you actually have in storage here. So you start to label it now. It's like grievances there, conflict, death, limitation, sickness, and all this. Like, there's your farm. And realizing on this bright and clear day that you invested in it and didn't even know what it was, and didn't know that it literally imprisoned you. So you're completely surrounded by all your investments. This is like a farm that's enclosing you like this, like a circle. You cannot get out of it. It's like you see all your investments. You don't even know if there are doors that you can walk through it, or anything like that. And so here comes Master Teacher. He doesn't need the back door to come in. He comes from out of time. You could say like he came down with a parachute and he landed right next to you, and say like, hey dummy, see what you're doing. Take a good look. Are you coming with me? Like this parachute can go up too. Do you want to, like, anti-gravity here? I can take you out of this if you want. Are you coming with me? Or do you want any of this? Are you sure? It's like, it's basically a prison that you're in. Is that what you want? Is that what you truly want? Why not just say, hold me tight and go up? This is in fact the parable of Master Teacher coming down from out of time, or Jesus coming out of time, dropping into your farm, in the little circle that you can still walk around in, and inviting you to come out, to come with, leaving everything just for what it is. It's like these investments, you don't need those. If you think you need any of that, you're locked into it. There's no way out of this. You see that. There's no doors. There's no back doors. There's no way of denying this. Look at your investment. It's like there's no way of denying your investment in this. And so you have a whole storage full of solutions too, but they are just stored. They don't do anything. The solutions really don't work. But you keep picking one up and bringing it back into the storage. Like, oh, well, I tried, it didn't work. Well, oh, here's another solution. Wait a minute, let me try that. And still finding yourself in the same prison. So this is, who has ears can hear this, and who has eyes can see this. This is how Jesus would teach, right? It's like that's exactly what happens. So here it is today. Master Teacher shares with us, in fact, keys, or you can say like, a device where you can in fact be launched to get out of this. And it's up to you to use it or to apply it. If you'd rather stay surrounded by your investments, you can do that. If you recognize them for what they are, they will not limit you. All right, so I'm sharing with you some of the expressions that we'll take a look at. Everything dies or nothing dies. What happened, this is how he starts this part of the tape. What happened is the association just suddenly said, I don't need that anymore. Oh yeah, I was dealing with spontaneous remissions. Like somebody suddenly discovers, I don't need it. I've no need of this anymore, and actually is healed right away. So what happened is the association just said, I don't need that to do that anymore. You see, sickness is a need. Listen, feel it. Sickness is a need. You need to be sick to verify your association. How else could you get well? Can you hear me? You need to be sick to verify your association. Like you wouldn't believe that you're a human being if you didn't get sick. That's another way of saying it. And at the same time, how else would you get well? What better describes the sickness than the remedy? The sickness and the remedy are the same thing. If you didn't have a remedy, you would never get sick. You couldn't. Like cause and effect are not apart. There's no cause without an effect, and vice versa. You couldn't. You had to have the remedy before you could get sick. Cause and effect are not apart. I'm going to reverse the temporal order for you. See if you can get this. The plane crashed. They discovered that the part in the engine had failed. Therefore the plane crashed because the part in the engine failed. Wrong. The crash of the plane caused the part to be defective. Do you see? Where did you find the cause? In the past. So this is a thinker, so to speak. This asks for a little contemplation and see if you can get this. The plane crashed. They discovered that a part in the engine had failed. Therefore the plane crashed because the part in the engine failed. And that's what you normally would think as a human being. You think like there's a part in the engine and suddenly it didn't work anymore and the plane crashed. Wrong. The crash of the plane caused the part to be defective. That makes all the difference. The remedy, the chemotherapy caused the cancer. Do you see? Where did you find the cause? In the past. These are the teachings of a whole mind to you. The cause and the effect are not apart. You can reverse the temporal order, and by not bringing previous effects into the present, you can change them. The real key to it, if you would like to know, is that there's no reason for this at all. Okay, so that's a great expression. I love that. I shared that before. Like, the whole thing is, it's like now you can research, and this is what Master says too, it's like now you can research or replace all the parts in the planes with the same type, or this is what people do. It's like they literally are changing every part that so-called caused the crash of the plane, like a preventative intervention. And that's not going to do it. It's like, no. There was no reason to that the plane was crashing. There was no reason for it. Now, if there was a reason for it, then it would have an effect. Like, then it would need a cause. Like, okay, this is the same with in fact, with sickness. It's like, no. If sickness is real, then you need a remedy. It's like they cannot go separate from each other. But there is no such thing. Like, it has no reason. The sickness has no reason. This is the same what we say, like, no, there's no solution to the impossibility of the human nature, because the place where you experience it isn't real. Where are you experiencing your human dream? You know this. It's like you experienced this in the past. It's gone. It's over. And this is deep. This is really deep. Like, where did it happen? In the past. Where is this happening? In the past. So here's our holy instant reminding us, oh, wow, this has nothing to do with time. Here's the light. Here's the love. Here's the extension. That's all there is. There was nothing happening before, and there's nothing happening after. Only my investment in time, in my storages. If I take a solution out of the solution storage and try to apply it to my problems, then I made something real, like to establish the association of my being. I established that. I took a solution out of my box and said, yeah, I can use you because I have a problem. Now I have the solution too. That's great. Why is that? Because now you brought it together in you, and at the same time you verified that you are actually in a place that actually exists, which is your dream, which has no reality, but you affirm that to yourself. Why do you get sick? There's no reason for it. But if you get sick, you find a remedy. Now you bring the two together and establish yourself in time and space and say, like, yeah, here I am. Yeah, well, yeah, luckily there's a solution for it. There's a remedy for this. Imagine that there's no remedy. Well, if there was no remedy, there could not be the sickness. If this doesn't make sense at all, like if there's no reason for this place in the first place, then all the solutions that we come up with have no other purpose than to establish yourself in time and space, which has no reality, which you don't have to do any longer. Now, going back to the farm, I love to bring it back. So I have my whole storage full of, like, I've invested big in conflict, and resentment is like, whoa, it's big. Like, I invested big in resentment. Well, I like to pick one out sometimes, like to pick one of those grievances out and just slash them around and bring some life in this association of mine, because it's so quiet in the middle of it. If I don't pick anything up, it is so quiet. Then I really wonder what I'm doing here. Or I pick out a sickness, or I pick out an conflict. I can pick out a death. I can lose someone I love. I can pick that out to establish myself here in time and space in order to, it sounds a bit rough, like to entertain myself, to make something happen here. Like, this is literally what you do. But there's no reason for it, because there's no such thing as death. There's no such thing as sickness. There's no such thing as grievance. No. So that makes it's like that makes awakening easier if you look at it like that. If you never verify your association in perception, you will wake up and be in heaven. Yeah, like I said, it's like you're in the middle of your little center of your farm, And you don't pick up anything from the storages that surround you. So you never verify your association in perception. What happens? You spring into heaven. You literally say like, yes, okay, here we go. And that was it. Now this is the workbook of A Course in Miracles. Boy, I don't know how you can stand it. Being in association in perception. Being gone. Like, I'm gone. I don't know how you can stand this place where the only thing is you entertain yourself with your own investments and you think that you're doing something. And you think that you have a reason for conflict, that you have a reason for sickness, that you have a reason, like you'll keep looking for reasons. That's one of the storages too, you keep looking for reasons. And the reasons department is huge too. Like for everything you have a reason why it is like that. And so this is how you've entertained yourself in your human life. It's like now the veil is lifted and you can actually take a look at it. It is this wonderful bright day on the farm. And all these storages are open and they don't seem to be attractive at all today. You feel sick if you look at it. It's like you feel sick more than anything else. So it doesn't matter that we have a little break because it's pretty intense, this. So this is, say, after an hour of talk, Master Teacher brings this in. And it's not that he has been sitting quietly. No, he has been pounding, so to speak, the teaching. But here then he comes up with this. That's pretty amazing. People die all around you and then you just what? You cry and you actually think you've lost them. It's crazy, guys. You can't lose anything. You can't lose. Where did it go? How do you do that? You are sharing associations that are dying now. I don't understand that. Unless you intend to die. But if they're going to die, then everything is going to die. What's the sense in life if everything dies? Either everything dies or nothing dies. See, that isn't hard. The idea that a body would die and there would be something going on later on is just senseless. That's just defense of your own self. Well, where will I be when I die? Well, right here. What will I be doing? This. Unless you choose to do something else to try to solve your problem. Right. Or to pick up a grievance, or to pick up a sickness, or who knows what you do. Why am I trying to get you to do? What am I trying to get you to do? Is the question. It's like, what am I trying to get you to do? Die. I'm trying to get you to die. No, you're not. You must be born again. Obviously, you have to lose the form of your association. And to you, that is death. To a whole mind, that's life. What you think is death and undergo is actually life. Okay, so here we are. It's like you have to lose the form of your association. It's like you have to admit, this is in fact coming back to the farm, like the thing that happens is you have to come to see that the storages have no value. What's in there is no solution, is not something that is attractive that you want to pick up again. You have come that far. You are seeing like, no, this is a hopeless piece of prison here. Like it's, none of it is attractive. I don't want any of it. I don't want the grievances. I don't want the conflict. I don't want the resentments. I don't want the solutions that don't bring me anything. I don't want death. I don't want this and I don't want that. Like there's a whole bunch that you don't want. You don't want any of the form association. Like you don't want anything from time and space. So this is what's happening. So literally you're being brought to the place that you stand in the center of your farm, of your investment, you could say, and discover, I don't want any of this. And now the next step then is to literally die into that, to release that investment, to let go of the whole story, to let your world completely collapse and being born again. Like coming to the place where you are literally entering into a black hole, as Master Teacher says, completely. It's like using up your potential, the potential, thinking that there is something that will give you something. It's like, no, all that can go. It literally disappears into a black hole in order for it to be converted into light. Now that's exactly what the holy instant is, and what we actually say practice here.
There was just an occurrence of a spontaneous remission. You know that I'm allowed to tell you that? And you might view that as magic, but that's perfectly okay. Well, what happened is the association just suddenly said, I don't need to do that anymore. See, sickness is a need. Listen, feel it? Sickness is a need. You need to be sick to verify your association. Huh? How else could you get well? Can you hear me? What better describes the sickness than the remedy? No? The sickness and the remedy are the same thing. If you didn't have a remedy, you'd never get sick. You couldn't. You can't hear me. You had to have the remedy before you could get sick. No? Okay. Cause and effect are not apart. I'm going to reverse temporal order for you. See if you can get this. Okay? Okay. The plane crashed. They discovered that a part in the engine had failed. Okay. Therefore, the plane crashed because a part in the engine failed. Wrong. The crash of the plane caused the part to be defective. Nobody. You see? Where did you find the cause? In the past. Now you're going to set up preventive maintenance based on past associations. Yet the idea of it happening is the insurance that it already happened, and it's impossible that that not be so. I don't know how many of you hear me, I'm going to tell you anyway. A trillion to one shot in statistical possibility is exactly the same as a 1-to-1 shot, because until it happens, it's not a possibility. It doesn't make any difference when it happens. Oh, that was 1,000,000 to 1 that would happen. Crap! What's the difference between 1-to-1 and 1,000,000 to 1? Huh? This is the teachings of a whole mind to you. The cause and the effect are not apart. You can reverse the temporal order and change by not bringing your previous effects into the present. You can change them. The key, the real key to it, if you'd like to know, is that there's no reason for this at all. If you never verify your association and perception, you'll wake up and be in heaven. That's the workbook of A Course in Miracles. Has to be. Boy, I don't know how you can stand it being gone. People die all around you, and then you just what? You cry, and you actually think you've lost them? It's crazy, guys. You can't lose anything. You can't lose. Where did it go? How do you do that? Try it. Give me some of you got mind associations and people, you're sharing associations that are dying now. I don't understand that. Unless you intend to die. But if they're going to die, then everything is going to die. What's the sense in life if everything dies? Sentence. Either everything dies or nothing dies. See? That isn't hard. The idea that the body would die and there'd be something going on later on is just senseless. That's just your defense of your own self. Well, where will I be when I die? Right here. What will I be doing? This. Unless you choose to do something else to try to solve your problem. What am I trying to get you to do? Die. In class? No, you're not, you must be born again. Obviously, you have to lose the form of your association. To you, that's death. Okay, to a whole mind, that's life. What you think is death and undergo is actually life. I'm encouraging you to speed up the time of your misconceptions so that you don't go through long periods of slow time. Okay? Listen to me. Just try to get there. I got to bring in some reserves here. What the hell's the difference between 100,000 years and 10 years if it's over? Come on. Huh? If they have come, what the hell's the difference? If it's time for you to wake up and go home. This is right out of the Course. Somehow you want to keep a longevity. But remember, if you keep a longevity, you will project it into a future association and prolong your own projected timeline. Time is not sequential. What page is that on, everybody? 2, 3, 4. Chapter 13. Chapter 13 of the Course. Time is not sequential. You may make it sequential in your own mind, but then do not believe it is true because it is delusionary. And you are basing your reality on a past, and there is no such thing as a past. Some of you are starting to hear me. Shit, I'll do it with energy in a minute. You'll hear it. You can hear this if you want to. So you'll relinquish the past. You'll stand here and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Wapo. Holy instant. Suddenly, all of the grievances of your past, of your own karma, have been converted through forgiveness, if you want to use that word, to lovely associations. The association remains exactly as it was, but you have no grievance about it. You brought it into yourself in a whole new love association. That's the way you can tell an awakening mind. Okay, it doesn't get together and form groups to retain hate, sickness, and death. They're forming groups for everything, aren't they? Groups for those molested when they were everything. I'm not even going to get into it. But it's a defense of the previous association in an identity with the resentment. How sick. How sick. Listen, one cause, one solution. One problem, one solution. These teach the alkies this. Okay? Your problem is that, your solution is that, no other problems. So you undergo a miracle and you no longer feel the need, for example, I keep coming back to 12 here a little bit, to feel the addiction, and now you think you need counseling in order to reestablish yourself in your own resentment. But the reason you were sniffing in the first place because you couldn't stand the world. It was just too painful for you. You literally couldn't deal with it. Now you have to go back into the conflict in order to justify the miracle that has occurred, that has relieved you of this. And this is exactly what you're doing each moment when you don't let the miracle happen. Because I promise you, listen, I promise you, you are as God created you, and that it's going on right now. It has nothing to do with what you think it is. It's going on. Those of you who have had light experiences, and everybody, you couldn't get this far without having had them. And you're going to tell me you had them in last year or 1978, but you had a lot of them, and a lot of you had them when you were real young, and they were reassociations in your mind, okay, of connections with reality. Huh? Yeah. religious, you call them, religious experiences of wholeness of your mind. Okay, those are holy instances. But you can't have a holy instance, you can only be it. Don't you see? Having or remembering the experience is not what the experience is. I can't teach them that. I don't think they can hear that. See if you can hear this. This would be important. Let's say that when you were 8 years old and you got something for Christmas and you were underneath the tree and the lights were shining and you felt a great deal of contentment and there was a fire in the fireplace and suddenly you felt this beautiful feeling of reality and as though someone was watching you. You felt whole for just that moment, almost as though you were standing and being observed doing that. Okay, that was a joyous, holy instant for you. Okay, when you have these holy instant experiences now, that is when you had them then. Okay, those are simultaneous. Okay, can't teach. You are directing yourself in your own previous experiences. The associations that are directing you now, or when you were a child, or wherever you were in time, are nothing but your own mind in a later state of time. Nothing but you and I sharing together out of time. Jesus uses the word reminisce only once in the Course, and he uses it in this context. We are remembering this together. And you can go into your own individual past and experience that moment of networking, of enlightenment when you felt. That's what the Course in Miracles is for. To keep you in a continuing condition of revelation, of awakening from your own projections in your own mind. Okay. I need some help here. What else would it be for? If it's a Course in Miracles. Isn't it a course to wake up and remember that you're with God, is what it says. It's not a course in the continuation of the repair of your associations. You can do that, but finally they're just going to fall apart anyway, aren't they? Don't make the prediction about the miracle. I know a lot of you are facing the dilemma of the need to relinquish with the demand from the associations that are around you that you hold on. But you remember this. Finally, you're the cause of all of it. Okay? In a very real sense, the Course in Miracles is not a detachment from reality. It's an inclusion through forgiveness. And the necessity for the miracle that will what? Literally change the perceptual thought form association that's going on. And this is a tough step for you. It's very difficult for you to see that if all timelines, you call these sutras, a sutra, the timeline, if all timelines are going on all the time, there have been dramatic changes in the relationship of your mind and these projected minds since you've been in this room. And if you will allow those changes to be real, we can speed up time to the time when you simply spring into heaven, because obviously you've already done it, and when you do it, that will be the time that you did it. And this is the time that you're going to do it. What other time do you have to do it? Won't some other time be this time? Why do you keep putting it off? You'd rather die than hear this. And you'll succeed. But you won't die. You'll suffer the pain, or you'll give the pain to someone else, and you'll be here. And you'll suffer the pain, and you'll give the pain to someone else, and you'll struggle, and you'll be here. Okay? You want the sentence? Nothing can be solved by conflict. Can you hear me at all? Nothing can be solved by conflict because neither side of the conflict is real. This is the whole teaching. Neither side is real. You don't mind the idea that somehow you're a Holy Spirit in conflict with the ego. Not so. That's literally not so. Wholeness is not in conflict with anything. If you can't take that step, don't try to teach the Course, they're going to say. You must somewhere go with the assumption that the cause and the effect of this association are not so. And by not judging them or forgiving them in your own association in mind, you will remove the obstacle. These are the first sentences of the text. I can't show you what love is, but I can show you that the perceptual mind is the obstacle to God creating. And you are that. Okay? Now, hopefully, all this will do with this. Of course, it's about to expand very, very rapidly all around the world. It's going to be challenged. But we want it challenged at the level, okay, of God, wholeness, versus the conflict of perceptual mind, not in the perceptual conflict level. We don't need that. If you're going to teach it, you're going to have to teach, no, this is not true. Now, the more you teach it, the more you'll come to know it is so. You must teach it because you have the power of your own mind to determine the result that you want it to be. There's no sense in giving that to someone else. Lovely sentence in the Course. Jesus says, subjective reality, that is the acknowledgement that you are the cause of this, places the burden on you, okay? But it also relieves you of the possibility that somebody else is causing your pain. If you're willing to accept the burden, okay, this burden is actually light. My burden is light. Okay, what do? Turn it over to God. And the problem is solved automatically. So here you sit. And here I sit telling you this. One of us is wrong. If I pick up the book, okay, I'll be the book. Okay, I am the book. So are you. Try to do this with me, will you? This will really help you, teachers of the Course. Don't attempt in your mind to separate the source of the Course from the Course. Will you please do that? Huh? Studying the source is a denial of the material. It's a determination to judge it in relationship with what you think Jesus Christ is. Okay, let me see if I can do it. The whole basis of the teaching is that this is Jesus Christ. Here. Okay. There is no separation between the object and the result. Okay. Okay. The thought and the result are the same thing. If you break it up, you're forced with the necessity to question the source, like you're doing with me right now. How did you come to know that? Now, somewhere that might be an acceptance, isn't it? I don't know how you could pick up this book and look at it and believe that it came from Earth. Yet if you don't believe that it came from Earth, you're going to have to admit that it came from somewhere else. And it will tell you then that it has, then you begin to look at it from that association. But if you divide up the cause and the effect, this is in chapter 9 in the Course, you're caught with trying to determine and judge the association with a previous experience you've had in your mind that will verify what I'm telling you. Quite literally, you're saying to me, how do you know that? Okay. All perception, all earth falls short of knowledge. There is no knowledge here. You see? It's just an association of your own mind in time. Okay, now tomorrow, if you'd like to pick up the Course with me, we'll pick up the Course, and you should immediately, after experiences you're going to have tonight, okay, this is a transition night for a lot of you. You'll have an experience, and tomorrow you'll pick it up, and all you'll say is, well, for crying out loud. You'll actually look at it and say, yeah, that's what that says. That's what that means. You'll hear it. Okay? Or not. But remember, if you don't hear it, you are no thing. See if you can get this. All awakened consciousnesses that are going to be demonstrated, and I should tell you guys, this is the cadre. All of you are in this association, everybody in this room. Everyone. Are what they call teachers of God, or advanced associations in time. Okay, all I'm doing is what? Speeding up your death association. A lot of you have gone through death, life, death, life, death. And I just keep shortening it down. I digress from that. Remember what I said about 80 years not being any different than 5 minutes if it's gone? Okay? Can you understand that some time is faster than other time? Is that okay with you? That you'll be contained within your own segment of relative association of time in cause and effect? Can you get that? Can you hear me? Can you get the idea of potential, okay, starting from impactness and returning to light, and that the variance of the speed of light will accelerate and time will be slower as it comes out of a black hole until it reaches a quasar? Can you factor that? That each galaxy has a black hole, which is nothing but your black hole here. This is your constituted potential reality, impacted into what you call particle. Okay. Jesus directs his attention to this when he says your problem is potential. You have the idea of objective reality that you can take thought form that's been impacted and utilize it in a limited association with yourself. And you do it. But you never activate it wholly. Yet each moment, if the schism occurred, it went, and Jesus, there's lovely sentences I'll show you. It went to what? Total impactedness, and immediately became whole again. And you're somewhere in between. This is the old Hindu teaching. You're somewhere in between that. The emanation to the black hole and the return, okay, to your natural condition, to remembering that you're God. Okay. Now, nature worshippers, or so-called moon children, obviously are doing an identification of the potential of their minds as the source of their reality. Not so. The source of your reality is out here, and you are returning to the source of your reality by activating the thought forms contained within your configuration. Am I okay with this? Can you hear this? Yin and the yang. You're always meeting yourself coming and going. Split mind, what you call human condition mind, is the equal distance between God, which is an acknowledgement now in your mind that there's something outside of you, and the earth mind that constituted your previous reality. Okay? You see that? Male, female. Does that help you? You're activating your potential through the utilization of the energy. Jesus calls these great rays, and it's lovely to look at. See now, where are you as a human being? Okay, obviously you see you're not completely from the earth because your mind is expanded to the stars, yet you don't know what's out there. And for just that moment, okay, that's called ego. That's the split mind. But remember that it only lasted for a moment. You could only ask the question once, is there a God? Without being God. Can you hear me? A hippopotamus doesn't say, is there a God? You could only construct time or death once in your mind without trying to find a way to overcome it, which would be eternity. See, then death and eternity are the same thing, and they're in your mind. If you continue to ask the one thing in all the universe that doesn't know, this is chorus, doesn't know what it is, you can't possibly get an answer, because you're asking your own form. Okay, and that potential does not know the answer, because it's forgotten that it came from here. Yet it cannot be so that it is not. No matter, Jesus uses the term, a lovely term, he calls it the great reversal. Okay? He says when it goes out so far, then the return journey begins. And that if you want to look at it as time, it's going on all the time. This is it. See? And you're somewhere contained within that. And we can shorten your time associations if you won't move laterally on us. See, remember, once you find a schism, you begin to go off into devious associations, and it can take you another 1,000,000 years to get out of here. What's my answer to that? That 1,000,000 years just passed. See? Now you can go. This is speeding up time. I'm trying to speed it up for you. If you're determined to go through another death experience, who in hell is going to stop you? What? And by hell, I mean here. Who in hell here is going to stop you from going through another death? They're designed to verify that you can get old and sick and die. I hate this. I hate it. Stop doing it. somewhere you're going to have somewhere you're going to have to accept the idea that God is whole and that you're in heaven. Okay? I'm telling you that that's so. If you try to look for verification for that here, it won't be here, will it? Huh? Of course not. How would it be here? It isn't here. This isn't here. Do you know what I'm telling you perfectly well? Of course. How else could I be telling you? You can deny it. Yeah, but the craziness of constructing a whole beautiful God in your own mind, remember, God's an idea, and subsequently denying it is a height of insanity. Jesus, I keep doing the course because it's so beautiful. Face it, you actually believe that you've usurped the power of God. As though somehow you can do that. But you can't. You are going to be God's Son, whole creating, whether you like it or not. At this point you don't like it, but that's not going to make it not so. And don't tell me you do like it, if you did you wouldn't be here. Something about death still attracts you. You see? There's no sense in denying it. As soon as it doesn't, you'll be gone. That's a fact. I'm surprised some of you don't start to remember me. I know all you guys. God, you ought to be able to hear some of this. How the hell would you meet a stranger? Come on, let's do the Course in Miracles for just a minute. If these are projections of your mind, all right, can I get that far? Is that okay? That you're the cause of this? How would you possibly meet something that's not constituted in your own state of condition unless you don't want to know them? You don't want to know them. You don't like the things that they've done in your own mind, and you have rejected them from your mind. But they are your mind. You lust in your heart, you lust in ever prayer. That's one of Jesus' famous things. The thought is the same as the deed. There is no distance between the cause and the effect. You are getting back a reflection of your own mind that you don't want to acknowledge. And when you won't acknowledge it, you cloud your mirror. If you look at light as consciousness, then all you see is the projections of associations that you are in conflict with in your own mind. You guys ought to be able to start teaching this. Don't do that. Forgive them. Let them go. Step back. Huh? Well, they'll keep on attacking me when I do that. Of course. Yes. Well, now what am I supposed to do? Step back. But they keep on attacking me. Yes, they do. There's no sense in me telling you you're not being attacked. Your defense is what the attack is. You believe the Course totally, or you won't believe it at all. The Course is either totally true or there's no truth in it at all. What a terrible problem that leaves you with. You know what it leaves you with? Faith. Because it's teaching you can't know it perceptually. The happiness that you're experiencing and that you're seeing in some of these associations is nothing but a determination that this is not real. Not that there's something else that they're going to be in. Can you hear this? Okay. God is not an alternative. Who can hear that? God is not an alternative. When you see these new bright minds, this is the whole Course now. All of your alternatives are wrong. Got it? God is, you can't choose heaven. If you did, you would have. You can always tell an advanced teacher of the Course in Miracles. Why? He teaches no choice. The whole basis of the Course in Miracles is that you have no choice, that this is a required course. You say, yes, but I can choose the time. That's nonsense. You wouldn't choose to stay in sickness, pain, and death if you knew you can get out of it. You believe somewhere that you're choosing to do that. Somewhere you believe that there's a separation or you wouldn't be here. But it's not true. You have no choice in this. And you say, well, how come you're offering me a choice? I'm faced with an impossible situation. That's a sentence directly out of the Course. When we say to you, an impossible situation, we don't mean, oh, it's just so difficult. Oh, yeah. We mean it's impossible. That it's not. Huh? This is not a doing, okay, is it? This is an undoing. It has nothing to do with doing at all. What is it? Transformation of your mind. Maturation of the species man to a new range of thought forms, homo superior. You want that? I'll give it to you. But what are you waiting for? You're going to tell me it's going to happen 1,000,000 years from now as man gradually pulls himself out of the mud? Crap. How does that solve my problem? The Course in Miracles solves the problem very succinctly by telling you that you are the cause and the effect. That if there's a problem, you are the problem. That if there's an Antichrist, you are that. But if there's an Antichrist, there must be a Christ, and you are that. Key. There is no such thing as conflict in the whole universe. The universe is only loving and whole and real. And this.